All right, my final, I think, video, if everything works like it's supposed to. All right, starting at the bottom, I ended up taking the speedometer off. I left the spacer in there with the speedometer fitting. I was a little concerned about the speedometer going bad in a few hundred miles. I've heard that's a pretty regular problem, and it didn't seem like it was rusted, but it just didn't. The cable didn't seem like it was spinning very well, so I replaced that with a GPS speedometer. So there's nothing mechanical down there. There's just the spacer, and so one less thing to go wrong. Put a when I saw this on Amazon, I really thought it was going to be a little bigger than that, and hey, shame on me for not measuring everything. But the fender looks like, in my mind, it looks like if Hitler's mustache made a fender, that's what it would be. It's just a tiny little thing. I don't know that it's going to do any good, and I don't particularly care for Hitler. So I'm going to leave it on for a little bit, but I'll probably end up taking that off and just paint the other one and put it back on. Moving up to the headlight, I got the headlight. It seems like it's pretty secure in the mount. I ended up taking an old part of a workout machine, and I ended up cutting some pieces off of it. I have not painted it yet. I've still got a lot of finish painting on here to do, but man, let me tell you, props to those Chinese knocking stuff off of the Japanese. They did a really nice job, and their little hands, God bless them, can get everywhere. Mine can't. And they do a great job on the wiring, and so everybody talks bad about this, but about Chinese bikes, but man, they did a nice job on getting all the wiring in there. I really didn't make it any better. I made it a little bit different and a little bit more convenient for me, but I didn't really fix anything. To fix it, in my mind, you'd have to start up here at the handlebars and have all the wiring go down, pick up the headlight there, and then just basically go down to the back. And the way it was before, it was kind of, there were plugs and everything so you could get stuff on and off, but it just didn't make sense the way some of it was run. It was double run, and I'm sure it's probably because they used the wiring harnesses for something else. Anyway, like I said, proper dues to those folks for running the wiring. They did a much nicer job than I did, but I got everything that I thought was going to be a problem. I got everything soldered and covered up pretty good, so hopefully I'll be in good shape there. Right on the front there, I've got the turn signals on the front of the hand guards, and those are just ridiculously bright. I think that should do pretty good going down the road. I've got the stock ones in the back. I was going to put a different tail light on there, but I actually put it on my other motorcycle. That is the headlight that I was going to use, and I may order another one and put it on there at some point, but honestly, this has taken a lot longer than I thought it was going to, because my optimism says I'm going to get it done quickly, and I just don't. All right, moving right along. I put some different bars on there, and the only reason I did it is I couldn't get the ends out, and the weighted bar ends, I couldn't get them out. And I should have just drilled them out and used the same handlebars, because they're fine. There was nothing wrong with them, and I wasn't trying to spend $1 million on this, or I wouldn't have bought a Chinese bike in the first place. But anyway, I changed the handlebars out, and the speedometer, which I mentioned before, I got that cute little guy in there. I have not got it outside yet to see how the GPS works, but I am hopeful that it will do everything that it's supposed to. I got the knockoff, whatever brand mirrors those are, on Amazon. Okay. Let's turn the key and see what we got here. We got nothing. All right, there's our neutral safety. That works. Going over here, we've got our turning our lights on. The dash light works. The light works. The high beam indicator works if I push and hold it. All right, I think that's everything there. Gas tank, I didn't like the plastics on the side at all, really. So I ended up taking those off, and there were the metal chunks of stuff in there. So I did some body work on there. It came out good enough for me. I'm not terribly good at body work. I'm just a little too impatient with everything, I guess. Probably one more coat of, gosh, and my English escapes me as well. Chinese are probably better at that too. not regular Bondo, but the thin stuff. Probably take one more coat of that, and I could kind of smooth everything out. But it got good enough for me to be what I wanted it to be. I mean, it's a $900 motorcycle that I have probably turned into $750 motorcycle with everything I did to it. But anyway, since I changed the ignition out because I got rid of that big long Honda ignition, I ended up welding this bung in here. So there's a little steel bung that I welded in. That was pretty exciting, welding a gas tank. I've never done that before. And I just rinsed everything out with soap and water, and then I lit and I shook it out and got the tank mostly full of water, and then I lit a torch, a propane torch, and I held it in there, and I got just a little bit of a, and as the water drained out, it just burned off all the gas that was in there and then made it relatively safe. I did the torch 3 or 4 times because I figured I'd rather blow the torch out and me over than knock myself out while I was welding, explode something into me. Anyway, it all worked out just fine. It was not a big deal. And I think, I'm sure there's other, oh yeah, back here, I ended up, I wish I would have taken that panel off, but I ended up putting a charger on it, and that is an SAE connector, and I've got it on a no-code charger. The reason I did that is because I've got an SAE bike pump or a tire pump that if I want to air down and air up, then I can. So that was my plan with that. Also under there's the barrel fuse, and I went out yesterday because I blew one as I was doing the wiring, which I'm prone to do. And I couldn't find a barrel fuse. I found what do you call them? I found, again, problem with the English. I found a box with varying sizes of fuses. So instead of doing getting 2 10-amp fuses, like the battery's already charged, instead of getting 2 10-amp fuses mixed in with 5s and 15s and 20s, I went ahead and got a mini one of the mini blade fuse links, and I went ahead and put that in there. So they're parallel. So no matter what, unless I find the big fuse links, pretty much no matter what, I'd be able to plug either one of those in there if I had a fuse blow for whatever reason. So it just makes that a little bit more usable for me. I got that painted. I think I'm probably going to go back and paint the tank one more time green and probably put that star to white. I did put a little bit of exhaust tape on there. I took that silly little muffler guard off. Didn't particularly care for that. I don't think it matters. And when that falls off, I probably won't put it back. I'll just paint it with tape or with black grill paint, something that's high heat. Muffler didn't do anything to that. I've still got, that's pretty much intact as far as anybody needs to know. And I still have to mount that side on it. I think that's all I did. Got the Nibby 28 carb on there. I think that's pretty much it. Oh, I did forget the seat. That's my first run at doing a motorcycle seat. I've done a little bit of upholstery on stuff before. The only problem I had with this, everything went pretty well. We'll see after I ride it for a couple hundred miles. But the only thing I had a problem with was the original foam had a crack in it, and I didn't deal with that before I covered it up. And what I should have done was pull the crack apart and sprayed some 3M glue down in there, and then stuck everything up nice and even, and then covered it over with a little bit of batting, and then put the seat on. But I didn't do that. I didn't know exactly what I was doing there, which is how I do a lot of things in my life, and I'm fine with it. Anyway, that is the project. It's raining. Looks like we got rain for the next 2 days and 50. So I'm not as adventurous as I used to be. So I'll wait another day or two and then get it out, ride it, wash it, clean everything up a little bit, and hopefully everything stays together. Oh, and in the end, I didn't like the way I mentioned this in the beginning. I didn't like the way the wiring came out. It looks like, a monkey sneezed under there and a crap ton of wiring came out of his nose, and there it is. I do still need to cover up that red wire. That's something I didn't mention. That goes to the, I've got a USB port there. And snazzy. Got my turn signal indicators because I'm an old guy. You can tell that I'm an old guy by me putting my video together in a very shoddy format. I also forget and leave lights on and signals on and try and start it when it's in gear. So now I've got these really bright indicators to me that, hey, don't be an idiot. Something is on, something is going on, something's still going on. And I did that on purpose so that I wouldn't be that guy. Because I don't want to be that guy. Nobody really wants to be that guy. I think that is all. I removed the kill switch. And I did change the starter out because I removed the kill switch. And none of that was really necessary. And I don't remember what started this project in the first place. There's one thing wrong with it, and I did 87 things that had nothing to do with it. And this is what I came up with. That is it. If you like it, subscribe. I'm going to hopefully get out on there's a Flint Hills adventure tour that's goes through Kansas and Oklahoma through some of the last tall grass prairie, maybe the largest tall grass prairie in the world that's left unfettered. And I'm going to hopefully get out there within the next week or so and do a couple days on that. And then obviously I'll do probably 400 or 500 miles on this before I go out there just to make sure that everything is running right. Now that my speedometer is running right. The reason I changed the speedometer, and the other reason I changed that is because mine was, it was off about 20 miles an hour at, I think at 40, it read 40 and I was going 20, and then I got up to 60 and it was read 60 and I was doing 55. So that's part of the reason, and this looks better anyway. I didn't like that headlight, the headlight front end on the other one, and I like this bucket a little bit better. So anyway, that's what I got, and hopefully I'll be out next week riding. Anybody wants to go along, let me know. I probably won't invite you because I don't know, introverted would be the word. But no, kidding. If anybody wants to go along, do a day trip with somebody on a 229cc motorcycle, we can sure make it happen.